Welcome everyone. Today we will talk about WordPress admin settings. This is the most important part where you need to know some good basic stuff, and in detail we will also show you guys if you really want to master this section, then you need to go to the WordPress documentation. So today we will just go over so you guys know a little bit and some basics about WordPress settings. As we created our site and now we are in the admin section, the first thing you need to make sure you're an admin. You're an admin, this is where you can access things. And as we can see right now, if you go to the admin section and click on the settings right here, you will get to this journal settings right here. Journal settings are your main settings for your site, the title of your site. So if whatever you do over here, whatever you change, it's going to show up right here on the top, and the tagline right here. These are the things that will matter when you are putting your site on Google. And once you tell Google that, hey, you can index my site, you can search, and what other people can search, they will be typing these terms, and that's where things are going to help you. And that's something we'll talk about it in a little bit details in later sections. It's called SEO. Okay, this link is pretty important right here. Don't change this. And before you even play around with this whole settings, make sure you guys are in the training development side. Don't do this on live, because if you mess up things, you don't know how to get back. It's going to be a very stressful day for you. So just play around with this in a developing and training site. Don't change these links, because if you do, you're going to mess it up and you won't be able to get back. You can, but it's going to give you problems. So don't just change it up for now. We will talk about this when you change your site to HTTP to HTTPS, and that's where you will kind of learn a little bit more how to do that, and that will involve other things too. So you can do this from here, and you can change this email address. This is where all of your notification will go to this email. So let's say, for example, someone comes over here, and then this is the blog, and there's a comment section, and they click on reply right here, and then they reply. They say send, and then you might get an email that it will say something on this email. You'll get an email that this person commented. Do you want to approve it, and things like that. Membership right here, if you check this box, anyone can register, and anyone can register with this role subscriber. So they will have very limited access. But if you check this box and this is set to this, then that's going to be a nightmare. So you don't want to do that. Make sure it's subscriber, check this, and then let people register to your site. Okay, so the basic things on the bottom is just time format depending on where you are and how you want to set it up. Site language is right here. If you're in some other country, you can change the language over here. That was the general settings. Writing is very basic. Let's say, for example, you are a blogger and you do a lot of video stuff, like you train people, tutorials, and things like that, and you just want to put that on your blog, then you would pick this format over here, default format video. If you're a photographer, you might want to put this right here. And that's something that will change, because most of these people these days, a lot of people like me and you, we basically go and buy a theme right here, which we haven't discussed yet. We will do that in a later section. They'll buy a theme, and then everything will be done for you. All you need to know is just the basic stuff here. So let's say this is the section that I'm doing because you want to know these things, just to know where things are and how things are running. You can change, you can get custom email from here. It's up to you guys if you want to put a different email, no reply email. Update services, this should be right here. It basically gets an update from WordPress and all that stuff. So make sure your update services are running, because you want to get latest stuff. Okay. Reading is another important section, because this is where you can tell, like, the front page to display is your latest post. So for example, if someone goes to my site, what are they going to see? They are going to see a latest post. Whoever posts on my site, whoever write our article, anyone comes to my site, just helpdeskcareer.com, will see the first post right here. But I can change it from here, and I can say, you know what, I want a static page, and I'm just gonna put this sample page on my front page, and then I can say save changes. And let's say, for example, if someone come in right now, they will see my sample page is going to be on the top then. Okay, This is how you guys can change things from your things. Like let's say you create another page and you want that to be the front page, and you can change it as a static page. So that's where you can do things. You can also select another post page by just clicking here and creating another page and just make that as a post page, and that will be a custom where people will see that post under this pages right here. Okay. Blog pages show at most 10 posts. I mean, if there's a lot of posts, you want to make sure that it's not 50 or 100. You just want to make it a little clean. So that's going to be 10, 5, so people can then move on to the next one by clicking next. The other things are just basic normal stuff. For each article in a feed, show full text. You can just do summary, and that's where, like, you don't want to show a full on one page. If there's 5 posts, you don't want to do a full, because then it's going to just show everything. So then summary will just give them an idea of what this post is about, and then they can do the full, read more, or things like that. This is where you are telling Google to, start searching indexing my site, and then put it on Google so that other people can see it. As you guys can see, it is up to search engine to honor this request, so it's really up to them. But yeah, if you're developing site, I wouldn't let Google search it, because this might not be completed. There might be information that you don't want to let it out and things like that. You want to make sure it's restricted, not registered. That options that we discussed first, and some type of coming soon plugin is installed, so then other people cannot see all that you're doing. And then once you're ready, you have it ready for everyone. And discussion. Let's talk about discussion here. In discussion section, basically what you have is how other people are going to be, writing comments, and how are you going to manage this type of things. So default article settings: attempt to notify any blog linked to from article, allow link notification from other blogs, so that's like a ping back, tracking other articles on new articles. So allow people to post comments on new articles. You can just uncheck that. But the problem with this is that if let's say for example, if you already posted an article and there's comments in there, then this might not work. This is for anything after whatever you have done and you have checked. So if you're a brand new site and you check it, then it will work. But if you already have like 10 comments, 10 posts, and they have comments, then this option might not work. But there are some plugins that you guys can use to make that work. Other comment settings: comment author must fill out name and email. So that's like you're asking people to do certain things so you get more information, or for a security reason you might want to put more information, like have them type the full email address. User must be registered and logged in. So let's say if this is not checked, then anyone can comment, even like these bots and spammers and things like that. They can just throw their comments in, so you don't want to do that. Most cases, most of the people would at least have people register, because then that kind of tell you that this person is kind of legit. Even then, we will have people or systems that will need more security, and that's something we will discuss later in our advanced courses. What kind of plugins would you need? What kind of security level that will just stop all these spammers and things like that? Automatically close comments after 14 days. So if you have a lot of comments coming in and you don't want to keep them on your page, you can just close things out like this. And then you have some other settings in. The best way you would learn about these things is that in your training environment, you have this on right here. You open another browser. Another browser is going to be like this, and basically you will log in with that help desk link right here. Let me just show you guys. This is how you guys will be doing a lot of testing. So if you want to learn things, then log in with a user. You just created a dummy user, or another user has a subscriber rights, and now have you do that things in another browser, because now you're not in the same browser, so it's not the same information. Like it will not take over. So you can basically on the same computer you can start testing out these things, playing around with it, and all of that good things, right? That's how you will be testing out your settings, and you will learn more about it. If you do any mistake, you can uncheck it, come back, and it will get fixed. Email me whenever someone like this. It's more like notifications again. Comment moderation is another one right here. So you guys can put an IP address, email address, or things like that, to kind of like block things, or comment blacklist. You can just put stuff right here. It tells you right here when a comment contains any of these words in content, name, URL, email, or IP, it will be put to trash. So if someone uses like a really bad word, or you have a list of words that you don't want that on your blog automatically, then you can just drop it right here with this format, and then it will automatically trash it. And this is where, how you want your when someone log into your site for the first time, what kind of logo that you want them to have. So they might have this, they might get this by default, and then they can change it later on in their profile settings. Media is another one. As you guys can see, there's not a lot. I mean, there's few options. You can do if someone basically log in and you want to do the thumbnail size for each, like, all the system, inside the system, anything that goes into thumbnail, this is the default numbers that they're gonna get, default medium size of this. And to be honest, a lot of people will just install this and leave this off. And in later courses, I'm going to show you guys what can you use to kind of shrink your images size, because image is extremely important right here. Like, just to show you guys an example, let's just go ahead and just do a page speed test on this thing. So what you do is to type Google page speed test, and then you go to, and this is something that, again, this is advanced stuff. We will try to figure this out in advanced courses, but let's just do a little quick hands-on test for this. Helpdesk career.com. So it's testing this page right now. It'll tell you how fast is this. So it's 86, 70. It's pretty fast. The reason it's fast is because there's nothing in it. So yeah, the reason it's fast that it's nothing in there. But when you start building your site, what's gonna happen is that you will get some good, your numbers will go low in the beginning, and that's gonna happen to everyone. So you will start playing around with these options and how to fix it, because if after your site is totally built and it's still 86, you're in a good shape. As you can see, it's green, and even mobile is 70, is pretty good. That's fast. So it can even go up 90, something like that. So once you build your site, once you put all these images in there, once you put all those videos in there, the text and everything, then watch how these numbers will drop, and you'll see images in here, and how do you shrink it. Then you will need to know all that stuff, and that's something we will also discuss later in our advanced courses. So that's just to give you guys an idea of how this is important. When you guys play around with the media, it's just best to kind of, like, when you upload it, do everything from the scratch, and that's some techniques that we move on for to start building sites specifically towards, like, when we build something. Let's say, for example, one of our course will be WordPress for learning management system, and in that we will teach you how to become how to build a site from a theme where it's already developed, and then you will be just like a university or college or a personal trainer that you want to teach other people, like what we are doing right now. So that's going to involve a lot of images, a lot of resources, and how do you manage and still keep your site at least in a decent speed, with a decent speed. Okay, the last one we're going to talk about in this section is permalinks. And permalinks kind of like, how do you want your site to show the links? So let's say, for example, if I click on this hello world, and see how it's basically showing this right here. If I go back, it's kind of using this format right here. But if I change this to post name, a lot of people use post name because when you go to Google, this might kind of help with your namings, because you might want to put something, let's say selling games, then it will show selling games over here. So that's kind of like, you'll just click on save, and then if you do this again, This might not just, there you go. So as you guys can see, it's using the names in here. So naming can be nice way for you, but it depends. I mean, you might be using a different type of post where it requires years, specific to years. Then you probably would pick some of these right here. This one with the name. So that is basically the admin settings for this. But there are other admin settings too. Like for example, in tools, you have other settings over here. This is not something that it comes with WordPress. That is the plugin that I install, and that's something I'm going to show you guys later on. But this is what the admin settings that comes like with WordPress. Okay, you could come and change things from when you install your plugins. You might get another admin settings, and it might get added to these settings. Okay, so just to give you guys a quick tutorial before I end this video, and I'm gonna start doing other settings in the plugin and theme section. But just to give you guys a quick kind of look right here, I'm just gonna go to appearance, and you guys see the appearance have its own uh, things right here. This is not settings over here. But if you go to the plugins, and let's say for example, if I add a new plugin here, and let's say I am going to add BB Press. I'm just gonna go ahead. It's basically forum, so I'm gonna go ahead and activate it. So I did that, right? And as soon as I come here, I'm just gonna go ahead and click here. Forums, sorry, right here. So as you guys can see, it just added that settings from BB Press, and that's what I was looking for, discussions and settings. So this was not there before. If I click on this right now, as you guys can see, there's different settings coming from that plugin. Okay, so that's kind of like, when you start adding all these plugins, your settings section will grow, and then you will have to go to the plugin settings site and their documentations to know exactly what they're talking about and how to manage all these settings. And that's something we will go in details when we install plugins. We cannot cover every plugin, that's why you need documentations. And again, if you want to go to WordPress documentation, you just go to the WordPress documentation in Google, go to the main page, and here you will find so many things about WordPress that we cannot cover this in this simple course. But you can start searching around, playing around in your live test, and I'll see you guys in the next section, which is going to be our, let's go back to our site. It's going to be about themes, and it's basically we're going to touch up on themes and also the plugins section in our next section right here. So let's go back to here. In case you are still confused, this is a course that we're teaching on jobskillshare.org. This is the site right here. We have other courses over here too. Let's go back to our course here. Go to all courses, and you can search, or you can just click on WordPress setup for first user, first time beginners. You click on that, and this is where we are right now. We're in WordPress settings. We finished this part. In the next section, we'll talk about how to work with WordPress themes and plugins. See you guys.